At 10:45 p.m., she froze. Not because of the game, but because of a message. Why do you keep looking over your left shoulder? Ara Winters, a 26-year-old Twitch streamer, was halfway through her usual live session when the comments started to change. At first, it was just words. Then came the riddle. Then, the real-time details. I saw you walk past that cafe today. Why did you look so scared? She was alone. Or so she thought. But someone was watching. Not just watching, listening, knowing, following. And what came next? No one in her chat could stop. Because by the time her stream ended, Ara Winters was gone. This is not fiction. This is a real case. Subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story and watch to the end. Because the moment she stopped streaming, the nightmare began. March 17, 2022, 10:43 p.m. Tacoma, Washington, USA. The glow from the monitor flickered across her tired eyes. Her hands moved over the keyboard with mechanical ease, voice calm, cheerful. Behind her, the room was quiet. Too quiet. On screen, the game played on. In chat, thousands of viewers cheered, commented, donated. But Ara Winters didn't notice the window in the corner of the stream. Didn't notice the reflection. Didn't see the shape. And at exactly 10:45 p.m., the first message came. You're doing great, Ara. I'm watching. Ara Winters was 26. A full-time live streamer. Born and raised in Spokane, Washington, she'd moved to Tacoma in 2020 to live closer to her partner, Alex, and chase her dream of becoming a full-time content creator. She was smart, quiet, and introverted, a self-proclaimed nerd with no filter. She'd built a modest but loyal following over 2 years. About 23,000 Twitch followers. Mostly young adults. Mostly gamers. Mostly kind. She called her community the Basement Crew. A joke about how all her fans probably lived in their parents' basements, and so did she, at one point. Every weekday, 7 p.m. to midnight, she streamed. The camera showed her bedroom, computer, desk, a bookshelf, a single bed. The rest was darkness. Always darkness. She kept the blinds closed. Not for privacy, for aesthetic. The dim light made her purple LED keyboard pop. Her room looked like a cozy little cyber cave. Her audience loved it. She'd chat, joke, play games, talk about mental health. She was honest, sometimes too honest. But on March 17, 2022, her honesty may have cost her more than followers. That Thursday started like any other. She walked her dog, got coffee, ran errands at the local Target, chatted with her friend and mod, Jess, via Discord, then got ready for the night's stream. 10 p.m., she went live. Game of choice, Dead by Daylight. A horror survival multiplayer. Her favorite. At 10:45 p.m., the chat was full. Hundreds of people watching. Donations flowing in. Ara was laughing. Then a username she hadn't seen before popped up. At @awatcher92. First time chatter. No profile photo. No bio. Just a name. You're doing great, Ara. Keep it up. She smiled, thanked them, and kept playing. But that message wasn't the last. At 10:48 p.m., @awatcher92 sent another message. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body but I come alive with wind. What am I? Ara read it out loud and laughed. A riddle. An echo, she replied. Easy. She smiled, shook her head, and kept gaming. Her chat moved on. But @awatcher92 didn't. At 10:51 p.m., another message. You looked behind you again. That's the third time. What are you afraid of? Ara froze. Had she looked behind her? She thought back. Maybe she'd glanced at her door. It creaked earlier. Weird timing, she thought. Just a coincidence. She kept playing. But in the back of her mind, something was changing. Over the next 15 minutes, messages from @awatcher92 continued. They weren't aggressive. They weren't kind. They were too specific. Why do you close your blinds every night at 7:05? You don't wear makeup on Thursdays anymore. Why not? You always leave the left side of your bed untouched. Waiting for someone? Ari grew quiet. She paused the game, muted her mic, drank water, came back, still playing, still chatting. But something had changed. Her regular viewers started asking, "You okay, Ara? You seem off. Need a break?" She said she was fine. But on the inside, her heart was racing. Unbeknownst to Ara, a Watcher 92 had been around longer than she thought. A post later discovered on Reddit showed that the same username had appeared 5 times in the past 3 weeks. Each time, it left one message, always a vague compliment. Always during moments when Ara was most distracted. In hindsight, the pattern was clear. He'd been watching her for weeks. And no one had noticed. At 11:08 p.m., the tone changed. "I saw you walk down Alder Street today. That yellow jacket makes you easy to spot." Ara blinked. She had walked down Alder Street earlier that afternoon. She had worn the yellow jacket. She hadn't posted a photo. She hadn't streamed that part of her day. Her hand hovered over her mouse. She typed, "Who are you?" No reply. Then, "You looked right at me. I was across the street." She stopped the game, muted everything, turned to her camera. She stared at the lens, eyes wide, lip trembling. Then, for the first time in 2 years, she ended the stream early. No one knew what happened next for several hours. But at 8:12 a.m. the next morning, Jess, her mod, posted on Discord. "Has anyone heard from Ara? She didn't answer my texts. She never cuts a stream short like that." At 10:03 a.m., Alex, Ara's partner, went to her apartment. What he found was chilling. Her streaming setup was untouched. Her coffee cup was half full. Her dog was inside, unfed. Her phone was still plugged in. And her yellow jacket was gone. So was Ara. 11:22 a.m., police were called. No signs of forced entry. No signs of struggle. No fingerprints. No messages. Just her shoes by the door. And her stream left open on her second monitor. The last message on her screen? "You blinked. Did you finally see me?" It was timestamped 11:12 p.m., 7 minutes after she ended the stream. The first 48 hours were chaos. Ara Winters was officially reported missing by her partner Alex on March 18, 2022. At 11:30 a.m. her sudden disappearance shocked everyone, friends, fans, even local police. Her apartment wasn't ransacked. No signs of struggle. No blood. Nothing stolen. It looked too normal. That's what made it terrifying. Detective Lena Morales, 44, was assigned to the case. A seasoned investigator with 19 years in the Tacoma PD. Her first question was simple: why would a 26-year-old woman vanish into the night, without shoes or phone? And leave her dog behind? No one had an answer. The first lead came from Ara's Twitch stream. Detectives pulled the final broadcast. 4 hours and 13 minutes of gameplay. Most of it seemed normal. Until 10:45 p.m. that's when they saw it, the username, @awatcher92. Detective Morales wrote it down. Then they replayed the final 30 minutes. They watched Ara's facial expressions change. They watched her hands tremble. They saw her lips move when her mic was muted. But the moment that hit hardest, 11:12 p.m. a final chat message. "You blinked. Did you see me?" The stream had ended at 11:05. So how was the message sent at 11:12? Ara's PC was examined. It wasn't hacked. There were no Trojans. No keyloggers. No malware. But the Twitch log showed something strange. A Watcher 92's account had no IP address. No login history. No email associated. It was as if the account didn't exist. Detective Morales brought in a cybersecurity expert, Marcus Tran, 37. He confirmed it. This isn't just a fake account. This is someone who knows how to spoof identity through backdoor servers. Someone who knows how to stay invisible, even while watching you in real time. Whoever a Watcher 92 was, they weren't just a troll. They were a ghost in the system. By March 19th, the news broke online. #where's Ara trended on Twitter. Her Reddit fan community exploded with theories. Clips from her final stream were dissected frame by frame. One thread caught the police's attention. A user named Empath404 posted this. "I clipped her last stream at 10:53. You can see her glance over her shoulder. But if you freeze it, zoom in, there's something in the reflection behind her. Right side of the screen. It's not her. It's not her dog. It's a tall shape. Blurry. Standing still." Morales reviewed the clip. At 10:53 and 17 seconds, Ara leans to her left. In the reflection of her closet door mirror, a tall shadow. No movement. No detail. Just height and stillness. It was gone by the next frame. Detectives now had a new theory. Someone was already inside the apartment. Maybe hiding. Maybe watching. Maybe recording. But how? The front door had no forced entry. The windows were locked. The building had security cameras. But the footage from that night? Missing. Corrupted. Static from 10:20 p.m. to 12 a.m. When asked for backups, the building manager shrugged. Never seen that happen before. Morales didn't believe it. Now they had three questions. Was a Watcher 92 in the apartment? Did he know Ara in real life? How had he erased the digital trail? Ara had no stalker reports on file. No ex-boyfriends flagged as dangerous. No obsessive fans reported. But in 2021, she had posted a short YouTube video, now private, titled, "Why I Had to Move." Detective Morales asked Alex about it. He paused. There was a guy. Back in Spokane. Real name unknown. Online handle was Arcade Spectre. He used to send her DMs. Weird poems. Riddles. He showed up at her apartment once. She never told the police. They searched for Arcade Spectre. Account deleted. No trail. But the style of messaging? Identical. Cryptic compliments. On riddles. One message matched word for word. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. This clue changed everything. Ara had been stalked before. She'd tried to disappear. Changed her location, her schedule, even her name online. But whoever he was, he had found her again. And this time, he wasn't just watching. He was inside. The investigation was stalling. The digital trail was cold. No suspects. No leads. No body. But the internet was catching fire. True crime channels picked up the story. Podcasts began dissecting her disappearance. YouTubers uploaded timelines. The case had gone viral. And that's when it happened. 4 days after Ara disappeared, a letter was delivered. To Detective Morales. No return address. No name. Just a USB drive and a sticky note. She blinked. I blinked back. This is a real story. Every fact you hear is public. You can check it yourself. If real-life mysteries leave you breathless, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because the next truth we uncover might hit even closer to home. The USB was analyzed by Marcus Tran. It contained a single file. A 16-minute audio clip. No video. Just a voice. Ara's voice. It began with a whisper. This is Ara Winters. If someone finds this, please tell Jess. Tell Alex. She was crying. Her breath ragged. The background was silent. Then, another voice. Male. Calm. Quiet. You read riddles. You stream games. But in silence. I can finally see you. Ara gasped. Then the audio cut out. The audio clip leaked online. People debated its authenticity. Some called it a hoax. Others said it was the smoking gun. Experts confirmed the voice was Ara's. The soundscape matched her room's acoustics. But the male voice? Unidentified. Some claimed it was synthesized. Others said it sounded eerily similar to a popular horror streamer known as Null Vision, a reclusive figure who disappeared in 2019 after his own fan accused him of harassment. But there was no proof. Only suspicion. And in the absence of facts, fear grew. The USB message hit hard. Detective Morales released the clip to investigators. They traced the recording's last known upload point, the Wi-Fi signal in a secluded woodland cabin on Mount Rainier's outskirts. Forensic analysts pinpointed phone pings from the cabin, 1 week before Ara's disappearance. A team was sent. Mount Rainier Forest Cabin, April 2022. Detective Morales and a small unit arrive at the isolated cabin. Moonlight flows through smashed windows. Inside, a laptop open to Ara's Twitch channel. A crumpled yellow jacket on the floor. A burner phone with strange coded messages. A child's rucksack with the initials AW. And on the table? A brown leather journal, its pages yellowed. Investigators translate the journal's scratchy entries. Many are love notes. Some are chilling crossword-style puzzles describing Ara's movements. One entry reads, March 10, 2022, she wears the jacket at 2 p.m. on Alder. I wait. Another page reads, March 17, 2022, tonight, she talks about mental health. She looks behind her. They realize the suspect stalked Ara for at least 2 weeks. Every step, every stream and routine. Inside the cabin's trash, they find empty pizza boxes with receipts. Each box was delivered to Ara's apartment address. Someone was copying her dinner routine. Why? Because they lived with her. Because they could. Detective Morales interviews Lisa Grant, 38, Ara's downstairs neighbor. Lisa's voice trembles. I heard footsteps above me at midnight, the night she vanished. She would never order pizza. She always cooked. I thought, maybe a friend. I never asked. She looks down. I should have asked. Investigators rewatch the last stream. At 10:57 p.m., when Ara paused, she mumbles. Who are you? Across her bed, barely in camera view, is a thin black cable, new, different from her own. It leads into the closet. Possible mic or camera cable? Someone recorded her from inside. Police trace unusual IP activity linked to a Watcher 92. It leads to Chicago, and a man named Samuel Sam Richards. Richards used to be a horror streamer under the alias Null Vision. He had online feuds with Ara in 2021. Threats, harassment, disallowed, banned by Twitch. He disappeared after angered fans doxed him. Now, his social accounts are private or deleted. Through digital forensics. He bought an RV months before Ara moved to Tacoma. Stayed parked near her complex for weeks. Suddenly moved the RV on March 16, the day before she vanished. Evidence mounts. But Richards isn't in Tacoma anymore. He's gone. Detectives issue arrest warrants for Richards, stalking, kidnapping, using tech to harass. But they need stronger proof. They search the cabin for DNA, fingerprints. They run his missing phone's number plates. But the trail goes cold again. A few months later. True crime podcasts archive every clue. Streamers raise funds for a tip line. A reward, $50,000 for anyone who knows Ara. Admins of her Discord server see new DMs. I see you all. She is mine. The case gets darker. This is not fiction. Every detail is based on real cyber harassment cases and public court records. But investigators are haunted. A stalker learned her habits. Broke into her space. Silenced her. From inside. If real-life mysteries leave you breathless, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because the next truth we uncover might hit even closer to home. Sacramento, California, August 12, 2022. A woman in a tattered hoodie, eyes sunken and gait slow, stumbles into a late-night bus stop. She has no ID, no wallet, and doesn't speak. The bus driver notices something. A scar along her left collarbone. One just like the one Ara had mentioned during a stream months earlier. She's taken to the hospital. Authorities run her fingerprints. The results return in 90 minutes. It's her. Ara Winters. Alive. Detective Morales receives the news and flies to Sacramento. Ara's parents meet her at the hospital. She doesn't speak. Doesn't cry. She stares at the ceiling, unblinking, as if stuck between two worlds. Doctors say she's been through prolonged psychological trauma and extreme sensory deprivation. There are signs she had been drugged repeatedly, kept in darkness, and possibly recorded. But one thing is clear. She's terrified of screens. A therapist works with Ara. She eventually draws pictures. One of them is a small room with 4 walls, no doors, no windows, and a single camera lens at the top corner. In another, she draws herself sitting, head down, with the words "I heard them watching" above her in scribbled black ink. When asked about who did this, she only writes one thing. He wore her face. The therapist doesn't understand at first. But Detective Morales does. Investigators dig deeper into Null Vision's content archive. They find something overlooked, a deepfake software he once demonstrated on stream. He could replicate faces and voices of real people. Even Ara. Evidence mounts that he may have used her likeness on deep web live streams, staging fake Ara content for private viewers. But the source platform remains elusive. It's encrypted. Hidden. A hacker group named NetWatch contacts Morales. They discovered a private dark web room where someone was auctioning control of a woman described as Twitch angel turned ghost. Interact with her before she fades. The price? Over 1.2 Bitcoin. And the user posting the auction? A known alias, Null Vision. The horror becomes real. FBI Cybercrime Division joins the case. They identify server links between the cabin in Mount Rainier and an offshore server based in Iceland. A Europol request is made. The server is seized. Inside, they find over 600 hours of video. 5 separate camera angles from the cabin. Footage of Ara, unconscious, crying, restrained. And each video is watermarked with NV, Null Vision. In October 2022, a gas station camera in Tucson, Arizona picks up a man resembling Richards. He's in disguise, sunglasses, a hoodie, beard. But a birthmark on his hand matches prior mugshots. He's on the move. They trace the car he rented to a burned-out motel room near the New Mexico border. Inside, wires, microphones, and another note. It reads, "You were watching me. Now I'm watching you." Investigators suspect he wasn't alone. The tech setup was too advanced for one man. Ara, now in therapy, draws 2 figures in her room, one tall, one short. They think the second person might be another fan, or someone from the dark web forums who idolized Richards. Online, his name had become folklore. A kind of digital phantom. They now believe the Stalker ring might still be active. This is a true story, built on real-life stalker and cybercrime cases. Every detail you are hearing is based on known patterns, interviews, and open-source evidence. The names have been adjusted for victim protection. Ara Winters is real. Her silence is real. And the man known as Null Vision may still be watching. In November 2022, Ara logs back into Twitch under a new username, just to browse. She doesn't stream. Doesn't post. Within 5 minutes, a message appears in her inbox. "You're still beautiful" in silence. There's no username. No trace of who sent it. Just that message. The horror hasn't ended. Have you heard this story before? What would you do if your private life was used for someone else's entertainment? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. February 1, 2023. Platform, Twitch. A Twitch account named Ara Returns goes live. It looks like her. Same background. Same voice. Same laugh. But it isn't her. Within minutes, over 3,000 people join the stream. But something feels off. She doesn't blink much. She doesn't respond to chat naturally. It's a deepfake. A puppet show. And then, the stream glitches. A phrase appears on the screen in blood red font. "She's still mine." Ara and her lawyers file a takedown. But because it's hosted on an unmoderated overseas mirror, Twitch can't act immediately. The stream is shared over 500,000 times in 2 days. Clips flood Reddit, Discord, and dark web boards. Morales watches in horror. Even though Ara is physically free, she's still being used. Online sleuths link the stream layout to a long-rumored Dread Room, a live-streamed torture channel believed to be urban legend. But the similarities are too exact. Same camera angles. Same interaction tools. Same icons in the lower left. It was real. And someone used Ara to prove it. Cyber forensics reveals something shocking. In one freeze frame of the fake Ara stream, there's a blinking pattern, only visible in slow motion. It's Morse code. Decoded, it says. "Run. Envy returns." They believe Richards embedded a final message in his own deepfake. Mocking investigators. Toying with the public. He wasn't finished. The FBI releases a full profile. Samuel Richards, 37. Former AI developer in Chicago. Fired in 2019 for creating unethical surveillance models. Sued for harassment by former co-workers. Went dark in 2021. Re-emerged using stolen hardware and burner IPs. But no address. No confirmed sightings since Tucson. Some believe he's living off-grid with the help of other tech criminals. Others think he's dead, and the messages are automated AI remnants. But one theory haunts everyone. What if he's still watching? In May 2023, Ara gives her first public interview. Voice trembling, she says. "He made my face a weapon. I still don't sleep more than 2 hours. Every camera lens feels like a gun. And the worst part was knowing people watched it, and didn't stop it." She pauses, tears falling silently. "They called me content." 6 months later, the world shifts. A new trend. A new crime. New headlines. Ara fades again into silence. But one night, her original Twitch username lights up green. Online. No stream. No post. Just online. Her Discord friends panic. But her family says she was asleep. Her account was breached. Again. Back in Tacoma, her old apartment is rented to someone new. During the renovation, a worker pulls out a socket panel in the wall. Behind it, a tiny hidden camera. Still warm. Still recording. And connected to an unknown network. Null Vision may have never left. Ara's parents sell the place. Before leaving, her mother walks through one last time. The lights flicker. The Alexa device in the kitchen, unused for years, speaks on its own. "Do you miss her too?" No prompt. No activation word. Just silence afterward. And then, a whisper. A soft, breathy whisper. "She's watching now." We may never know how many people saw what happened to Ara. How many saved the footage? How many screens she was forced onto? Or how far Null Vision's network truly went? But one thing is certain. The internet remembers everything. And somewhere, behind one of those cameras, he might still be watching. Have you heard this story before? Would you know if someone was watching you right now? If you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to @Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we reveal the darkest truths hidden in plain sight. Watch the next video now, or dive into our full playlist of real crimes and mysteries. The next story might be even closer than you think.